Okay, so I certainly didn't expect that to blow up as much as it did. So this isn't exactly how I did it, because this is obviously my kids' Power Wheels. It's a Jeep, it's a little tractor. So I'm just going to tie a knot right there. But what I did is I went through that bottom slit on the Jeep steering wheel, and I just went through and I made a knot in the back so that it couldn't come back out. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to take a loop, and you're going to make a loop. You're going to take your other piece and wrap it around the steering wheel, and you're going to want to take another loop here, put that through your first loop, and you're going to want to pull it. You don't want to pull the end that is connected to the rest of your paracord. You want to pull on the end that is sitting right there in order to make that braid. And so it's going to look a little like that here. And then what we're going to do is you're going to wrap it back around and loop it again and put that loop right through that first loop. And again, you don't want to pull on this part that has all your paracord, but you do want to pull until that loop is tight. And sometimes with mine, I definitely had to wiggle it a little bit. And then, so you've got your loop, again, go back towards it, make your other loop, go through and pull your loop until it's tight. And each time you go around your wrap, you are gonna end up with another loop. So go back through, another loop, pull it tight until that first loop gets all closed up. And you're going to start to see your braid coming. Obviously this is a little bit messy because it's a little steering wheel that we're working with here. But you're going to go back around this way. Pull your loop through, pull that tight so this first loop is smaller. And then same thing, back the other way, up through your first loop, and pull it tight. And this is pretty much, I'm going to go until I get to this little thing so I can show you guys how I did it around my steering wheel. But another helpful tip is when you're going back through, try to keep the one that is attached. So this one is attached to the rest of my paracord right here. So try to keep that one on the top, and the one that you use to tighten, keep it on the bottom of that loop there. That'll help keep things straight so that it doesn't look all folded over on itself. So back through, up, pull tight. Now I bought a 100-foot roll. I actually bought 2 100-foot rolls of the paracord because I wasn't sure how much this was going to take, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough. 100-foot was more than enough for me. I did go pretty tight on my steering wheel just because I didn't want it to be flopping around and moving all around when I'm trying to drive. I chose to do the paracord wrap because I am not comfortable driving with the steering wheel covers because they slip and slide, and I need to have full control of my vehicle. So again, you just pull this through, kind of give it a little wiggle to make it tight. And you're going to want to go back around. Sorry about that. Back through. Pull this tail end so your loop closes. We'll give it a good wiggle. Okay, so this shows you why I make sure that the one that you tighten is on bottom. So it kind of moved, and so this is the one with all the extra paracord. And so if I was to wrap it right now, I would have to do this crisscross thing. I don't like the way that looks. So you can get them to go back where you want them to go. So you see how I moved that one on top, and now it will lay nicely. Once this gets tightened down, it's going to just look like the rest of these here. And then you go back through and you just do this loop. This is how I got that braid pattern. You just do the loop inside the loop and pull it tight, wrap it back around, pull it tight. And I want to make sure that that's in there. And see, I did it again. This was definitely took a lot of patience, but really it didn't take as long as I expected it to. I mean, I really thought that I was going to be out there for 3 or 4 hours trying to get this in there, but it's once you get the hang of it and you just keep going with it, it's fairly easy to keep doing it. Okay, so now we're getting towards this little break here, and obviously our steering wheels do have those breaks. So what I did is I went as close to the break as I possibly could. Sorry, I got a little too much paracord here. You're just gonna wanna pull that tight again. Okay, so what I did was I took this extra loop here. You see how it's super long? And I went around here and avoided that little break that's right there. Sorry, I don't have the best camera view here, but you want to pull that tight. So you've wrapped this piece around here. Now you can take your extra paracord, the rest of it, and go back around and go around the opposite way, because that's where that tail wants to be. And you're gonna wanna push it through, and this part was a little harder to pull because you're going around 2 or 3 times, but you want to wiggle it pretty good, get as tight as you possibly can. You can go back through and sorry, hold on. You can go back through, and I pushed a lot of it so that I could make sure that it was as tight as I could possibly get it, and you can follow all of that. So obviously this is going to be a little different than my Jeep steering wheel, simply because we are doing it here, but you can go back up through your loop to help tighten things up. And so you get that little X pattern here. And then you just continue on about your time. Continue on. Sorry guys, I am not a YouTuber. And then feed it back through and just continue. So obviously this looks a little bit more messy. If you guys start to do this and you need any kind of help, you are more than welcome to shoot me a message, and I will walk you through things the best that I can. There are videos on YouTube about with the Paracord steering wheel wrap. So obviously you can see that we started ours down here at the bottom, went up, and avoided that little gap there. There is a way. This is obviously much small, very small. It's got the size of my hand, so it's a little more difficult for me to show you guys. But if you do mess up, you just pull your loops through. Another great thing about it being paracord is that if you are out on the trails and you need some rope, you've got about 100 feet of paracord wrapped around your steering wheel. All you got to do is find that end and then just pull it through, and it just does that. So that's how I did mine. There are some other ones on the So there are some on YouTube that you guys can look up. I personally just didn't like the look of how those ones all looked. I liked the braided look on mine. But there are some YouTube videos on there that kind of walk through better. You can get different patterns that you like, all sorts of stuff. I personally just liked the braided look, so that's what I attempted to do. It took me about 2 hours. So be, you know, be prepared to sit outside in your Jeep for a while. But I did have a lot of fun doing it, and I think it looks pretty cool. So if you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to message me. And yeah, that's it.